This is Toronto's Annex neighborhood. It got its name back in the 1880s when the city annexed the area in order to provide city services and utilities. This neighborhood is actually pretty large, stretching from Christie Street on the west side to Yonge Street on the east, and it's bound by Bloor to the south and a set of train tracks near Dupont to the north. Near the edges of the neighborhood is Koreatown on the west end and Yorkville to the east, and tucked away from the busy main roads are some beautiful and historic residential areas. In this video, we're hitting the streets to explore this iconic neighborhood on a dark and dreary autumn day in November. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm excited to learn what I can as I explore the streets of the Annex in Toronto. Hey, I'm Mark, and if you're new here, I make videos about places and experiences here in Canada. I'm starting this neighborhood tour here at Christie Park, which is just west of the Annex. I'm heading south on Christie Street towards Bloor and Koreatown. Just to clarify, there's another Koreatown further north along Yonge Street, but if you want to visit this Koreatown, you can take subway line 2 and get off at Christie Station. During World War II, Canada saw an influx of Koreans settling in Canada due to Japanese occupation of Korea. It was during the 1960s that this Koreatown started to take shape. The Canadian government made some changes to immigration, and Canada was a top destination for Koreans. By the 1970s, this area had about 10,000 Koreans living here. Many were here studying at U of T. They stayed and sponsored family members to join them. By that point, there was all kinds of Korean-owned businesses, and newly arrived Korean immigrants could feel right at home along Bloor Street. As years went on, many of the neighborhood residents moved to North York, and today there's an area known as Koreatown North. I headed north again through some of the residential streets north of Koreatown. This enclave within the Annex is known as Seaton Village. It was a village in the 1800s before it was annexed by the city of Toronto. There's some very old homes here dating back to the early 20th century. Many of these old streets have amazing tree canopies that create these beautiful orange and red tunnels over the road. Some of these trees were apparently planted when the homes were built. You'll find the cork house here too. It all started when the homeowner started decorating his mailbox, and then things just clearly got out of hand. Another notable spot in Seaton Village is Deborah Brown Lane. In the 1850s, Deborah and her husband fled slavery in Maryland and landed in Toronto. I'm assuming they came by way of the Underground Railroad. At that time, Seaton Village had the largest black population in the area, with many of its residents having escaped slavery in the US. When she died at the age of 111, she was the oldest resident in Toronto. Back on Bloor and continuing east, we start to leave Koreatown behind as we approach Bathurst. At Bathurst, just north of Bloor, is Bathurst subway station. If you get off here, you'll be right in the heart of the Annex. This area is home to some of the more famous and historical establishments. First up is the Hot Docs Cinema. It was originally the Madison Theatre, which opened in 1913. Today, it's home to the Hot Docs Canadian International Documentary Festival. Just across the street is Popper's Pub, which occupies an old bank building built in 1914. The pub opened in 1986. Crazy to think that over its 111-year history, only 2 businesses have operated out of this building. Just a little further along Bloor and we get to Lee's Palace. This place is primarily a rock, grunge, alternative venue. It's had all the big names here like Chili Peppers, Oasis. But there's an infamous story about Nirvana playing here back in 1990, about a year before they really blew up. Some say about 50 people showed up, others say about 200. Either way, it was a small crowd. And apparently, some people even sat down at the show. Kurt got pissed and pulled the table and chairs onto the stage and sat down himself. Then he flipped out and started smashing things, and so did the audience. Further down Bloor is the Pink Home Hardware. It looks like a modern hardware store, but it's been a family-run hardware store since 1922, and it was originally named Wiener's Hardware. It's since partnered with Home Hardware, but it's still run by the same family. Next up is BMV Books, which has been in the book game since the 1990s. They opened this superstore, as they call it, in the 2000s. They also sell DVDs, vinyl records, CDs, magazines, comic books, and a whole lot more. It looks like a really fun spot to browse around, but it was closed when I was there, so maybe next time. I decided to get off Bloor for a bit and check out the residential streets of the Annex. This section is between Bathurst and Spadina. I basically started at Spadina Station and then weaved my way north through the streets. Like Seaton Village, this area is very established and historic. There's some beautiful properties here with little parks dotted throughout the area. I eventually popped out on Dupont near the Dupont subway station. This is basically the north borderline of the Annex. I absolutely love this subway station. The architecture and design is so cool. I'll be diving into this in future videos as I'm planning a subway series in the coming months. So the north border of the Annex is this railway line, and north of here is the Casa Loma neighborhood. From here, I continued east along Dupont and then down Davenport and made my way into the posh enclave of Yorkville. You know you're in Yorkville when the neighborhood weed shops on every corner are replaced by plastic surgery offices. I turned down a side street and walked south until I reached the heart of Yorkville. Along the way, I passed some stunning homes and beautiful fall colors. This is a great place to wander around and enjoy the autumn colors and cool weather. This area is, of course, very nice, and it's fun to walk by all the luxury stores and premium restaurants. There's some beautiful hotels here too. Interestingly, this area was a bohemian neighborhood during the 60s, and some of Canada's most iconic artists started here or found some success here before going on to national and international success. Some of these icons were Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, Gordon Lightfoot, and Margaret Atwood, just to name a few. Just to the south, and I guess not technically in the Annex, is the University of Toronto. This is a beautiful campus with amazing architecture, both historic and new. There's several important institutions around here too. For a great fall walk, check out Philosopher's Walk, which runs north-south through campus. You can pick up the path at Bloor West or Hoskin Avenue near Queen's Park. Now, doubling back to Bloor, you'll also find the Royal Ontario Museum here and the Bata Shoe Museum, which I still have not had a chance to check out. Someone let me know if it's worth a visit. There's also the Kimpton St. George, which is a beautiful boutique hotel. I'm continuing my walk along Bloor towards Bay now. We're passing through the Mink Mile. I've honestly not heard that term until I was working on this video, but I guess every high-end shopping area needs a special name, kind of like Magnificent Mile in Chicago. My next stop was another spot just outside the Annex boundaries, but it's somewhere that I've never been and always wanted to go, and that's the Toronto Reference Library. Designed by Moriyama Teshima Architects, this place is an architectural landmark in the city. Walk up or take the elevator to the top floor and enjoy some amazing views. It's got to be one of the coolest buildings in the city. Before leaving, I grabbed a coffee from Balzac's, which is located inside the library. Then I headed north to Ramsden Park. This is a solid community park with tennis courts, playgrounds, nice walking paths, and an outdoor skating rink that's open all year. Currently, it's being refurbished. I made my way south again and stopped in at the famous Cumberland Terrace. It's become a well-known stomping ground, if you will, for liminal space and nostalgia chasers. It doesn't look like much now, but surprisingly there's a couple places still open here. On Google, it says permanently closed, but clearly it isn't, and you still have access to the subway. It definitely ticks the box for liminal space vibes. I had one more stop that I wanted to do on this tour of the Annex. Again, this one is not technically inside the Annex, but for those taking the subway to or from here, Museum Station is a worthwhile stop to explore. Just above here at street level and a little north is the Royal Ontario Museum, and this station's design is inspired by the iconic museum's artifacts and exhibits. Even the old payphones feel like artifacts from another era of human history. This is a great place to end this interesting and very long walk through a rather large Toronto neighborhood. I usually stand on the subway, but on this day, I decided to give my feet a rest. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video of the Annex in Toronto. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel. It really means a lot. See you next time.